What's up, guys? Thanks for watching a Jaguars United video. Today, we are breaking down the top 5 players that are going to break out in 2021. I'm not one for long intros, but if you haven't checked out the film breakdowns we've done of the draft picks, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out all those film breakdowns. This is going to be a shorter one, but we're just going to rank them top 5, so let's jump right into it. So coming at number 5 on the list is Sidney Jones IV, and I'm a big Sidney Jones fan. I mean, I think everyone pretty much had low expectations for him when he was cut by the Eagles and he was brought in here, but I think like all other fans, I'm pretty surprised with the way that he played last year on our team. Considering the defense was so bad, he was like one of the lone bright spots on this roster. Played 9 games, 2 interceptions, 9 pass defense, 1 forced fumble last season. He had a 68.1 PFF grade, and considering like what he was doing and the situation that he was in, I think he played pretty decent. He was projected to be a first-round pick when he was coming out of college out of Washington. He tore his Achilles on his pro day. Then he got hampered by a hamstring injury at Philadelphia. Then it was just cut because he was never really available. So I'm excited about Sidney Jones. I think he makes a huge step playing with C.J. Henderson on the outside, Shaq Griffin on the other side. He can move into the nickel. I mean, he played a lot of nickel in Philadelphia. One of his pro strengths coming out of college was his ability to play outside or inside in the slot. So I'm super excited about what he can do this year. I love the way he knocks receivers off of balance and gets them off of their route. I love it. He's very instinctual. Everyone knows that watches me knows that I love instinctual players, and Sidney Jones is it. So I'm really excited about him. I'm looking for him to have a huge breakout year playing in the nickel this year. Another guy that Jaguar fans are super excited about and coming in at number 4 is Collin Johnson. Like, Collin Johnson is a major threat in the middle of the field. That's 6'6", 230 pounds. He's going to really, I think, explode this year with Trevor Lawrence kind of keying the middle of the field. Trevor Lawrence loves the quick passes to the outside, flares, screens, quick curls over the middle. And I think Collin Johnson is going to emerge as one of his top targets in the middle of the field, especially without a real tight end to kind of do that job this year. I love what he did last year in 14 games and only 31 targets. He had 18 receptions, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 12 first downs. Like, he's a first down machine. 3rd and short or 3rd and medium, he can really help you out, get those yards. You can just throw it to him. He's got a big frame, a big wingspan. Really one of the biggest receivers the Jaguars have this year. Not to mention the end zone threat that he will become. I mean, looking at what he did as a rookie last year, drafted in the 5th round, a lot of people were big on him coming out of Texas. And I think just showing what he did last year with like kind of learning the roles and things like that, I think he's going to come back this year with Trevor Lawrence and a more passing offense and just really, really become one of the guys that this is a staple of this offense, especially when it comes to the red zone and getting first downs. For number 3 on my list of most likely to break out in 2021, I have Clayvon Johnson. I was expecting big things out of him, but at the same time, I knew that he was going to be kind of a project guy. I knew it was going to take him more than a year to develop. He was kind of a late bloomer at LSU. He was kind of a late bloomer in high school, but I like his skill set. I like his build at 6'4", 250, racking up only 13 solo tackles last year with 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss. I mean, he's a tackle for loss machine in college. So that's what we wanted him to be in Jacksonville. He plays that weak side 3-4 edge. So that allows him to come off usually clean, not being double teamed, but a lot of times he's chasing down plays from the backside, or he's working, against a tackle that's protecting the backside. So although he didn't get a lot of production that way, I mean, he did have 9 QB hits. So given the limited amount of times that he played, it seemed like the coaches kind of wanted to play him in those strictly pass rush situations. But with bringing in Jordan Smith from UAB this year, that's another weak side edge player that he's going to have to compete with for snaps. And I think that's going to push him to play better. And I think we're going to see his athleticism. The reason why he was brought in here was just because he's a freak athlete. He's strong. He's quick. Just an all-around Urban Meyer guy. And, Urban Meyer's been around some good DNs. So he understands the importance of having an edge rusher, especially in that 3-4 defense, that little hybrid front. I don't anticipate him dropping into coverage very much this season. He did it a tad, but I think just hand in the dirt, getting after the quarterback. He's going to put size on this year. He's going to learn some moves. I mean, I liked his spin move coming out of college. I mean, he's got the ability to do it. And at pick number 20 last year, we're kind of expecting him to. So where he's breaking out this year, I'm excited. I think he's going to benefit a lot from the other D linemen that have come in. So look for big things out of Clayvon Johnson this year. At number 2, I have edge rusher Josh Allen. And I know this is the second edge rusher I have on the list in a row, but after being drafted 7th overall in 2019 and having a great rookie season, Josh Allen had a sort of step back last year. Was put on the IR at week 10, so really only had 10 games to kind of put some stats up there. So we saw a little dip in production. 2019, he was phenomenal, though. I mean, at 6'5", 262, 10 and a half sacks as a rookie, 31 solo tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 23 quarterback hits his rookie year. And he played next to Ngakoue for some of that. I know he had some help, but with another year of learning the game and his technique, and also getting more help on the other side and on the interior from the interior defensive lineman, I think Josh Allen is due for a huge year this year, not to mention having an improved secondary behind him will allow him to really make plays. That strong side edge in the 3-4 means he's going to have to beat double teams, but he's big. I mean, he's almost 270 pounds. The guy can split double teams. He can take on blocks. He can set the edge. He can really get after the quarterback. And I think this year you're going to see more 5-man blitzes because of the natural 3-4 scheme, whether it's coming from the nickel or from the weak side edge or a linebacker. But I think it's going to allow Josh Allen to kind of use his athleticism and his strength and his just raw talent to beat blockers and to get sacks. And I think you're going to see him just explode on the stat sheet this year. I mean, I could see a Pro Bowl season. Like, I'm really that big on him this year. Definitely think that he's going to surprise a lot of people. His name's going to come back up after not being in the spotlight for a year, and Josh Allen's going to have an amazing 2021. And coming in number 1 on my list, most likely to break out in 2021, is Laviska Shenault Jr. I think it's no secret. Anybody that watched him just loves his playing style, instantly fell in love with him. In 14 games, he had 79 targets, 58 receptions, 600 yards, and 5 touchdowns, all as a rookie. When the Jags drafted him in the 2nd round last year, a lot of people had question marks about his injuries and will he be able to make it through a whole season. But his violent running style and his ability to get the yards after the contact or the catch shows that he's not afraid of contact. He's not afraid of injuries. And in fact, he's become a very explosive player in this offense. And given how lackluster the offense was last year, for him to have that much production is very, very impressive. I expect him to be utilized in Urban Meyer's offense even better than he was last year. I mean, he had 18 carries last year for 91 yards, but he had 5.1 yards per attempt. That's something that Urban is definitely going to use, I think. He can go all over the field. People are already talking about him in the national media. Maurice Jones-Drew just called him a number 1 receiver in an NFL.com article. So I think it's not just us in Jacksonville that are excited about Laviska. I think there's a buzz about him in the league. And I think him being used in Urban Meyer's offense, hopefully similarly to how Urban Meyer used Percy Harvin, just in that gadget, all-purpose guy. I think Laviska catapults himself into like a top 100 conversation of a Pro Bowl. And I think that he really just becomes one of the best explosive offensive players on this team. The volume that he's going to see with Trevor Lawrence in this offense is only going to help him. I can see him getting 1,000 yards receiving easily. I can see him getting 10 touchdowns. I know those are lofty goals, but I really, really expect a lot out of Laviska. If he can stay healthy, if he can just continue to do and build off his success from last year and really start to gel with this offense, Laviska Shenault will be a household name, and he'll be one of those guys that every team wishes that they had. So I'm super excited about him, and I think next year it's going to be a great year for him. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a comment of what you thought. Maybe a guy I left out or a guy that's too high or too low. Let me know what you think. Make sure to follow the Twitter and do all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you, Jags fans, as always. Go Jags.